Okay, this is a lesson that I'm going to give you on checking out the solar and lunar eclipses and how you can also check out your prenatal lunar eclipse and your prenatal solar eclipse. So every year, like this year, somebody's born, and if somebody's born today, for instance, a baby's born, then we would look to the last lunar and the last solar eclipse on their chart, which is going to define their life path, not exactly like the North Node, but similar to that. So in the astrology, we use, in evolutionary astrology, we use the North Node, the South Node, and Pluto as our baseline to understand a chart. But what you can also do is look at the idea of the lunar and solar eclipses, and also we have the transits of those which are currently ongoing at the moment. So if you go to this site here, you can see this is AstroSeek, and the brilliant thing is that what they have, when you open up their webpage, what you would do is, if I just go to the daily chart here, which you'll click on, and you'll see that this is today's chart. This is what's happening right now on planet Earth in the skies, and it's the 9th of July, oh sorry, the 9th of June 2020. I'm jumping ahead there. And we would then go to check out the lunar and solar eclipses. You go to the moon phase here, and then you would scroll down, and you've got the moon calendar, and then you've got when is the next full moons and new moons, and then you've got solar and lunar eclipses. So if you click on that, and I'm going to give you a great example here. So this is solar and lunar eclipses 2020, and we just had a lunar eclipse in Sagittarius on June the 5th, and on June the 21st we're going to have an annular solar eclipse, and that's going to be 0.21 degrees of Cancer. So then you would look at your chart to see where that falls for you. So depending on your rising sign, like for instance, my rising sign is Scorpio. So I'll show you my chart briefly. Click on this. And what you've got is that, so 15 degrees Sagittarius was the lunar eclipse that we had just recently. So 5, 10, 15 would have happened here for me. And the solar eclipse coming up is going to happen at 0 degrees of Cancer. So there you go, there's my sign of Cancer here. So for me, it's going to be happening in my in my 7th house, yeah. But I've got an intercepted chart here, which is the type of chart I'm using. It's Porphyry here, this type of chart. That's what we use in evolutionary astrology. So then I can see where that's going to fall, which it's going to be conjunct my Jupiter at the time, and it will be doing other things as well, that solar eclipse, when it happens. You know, it's not just going to be landing on my Jupiter, but it's going to be different for everybody depending on their chart and where their own planets fall. So if we go back to the eclipse chart here, then what we can do is that we can find out our prenatal and our pre-lunar eclipses. So if I go to the year I was born, you can see here solar eclipses we're going to look at first, and I click on this period of time here, which is 1960 to 1969. So what I'm looking for is the solar eclipse pre my birthday of 21st of May 1966, when I was born. So we would scroll down the chart here, and we can see that on the May 20th, 1966, there was a solar eclipse in Taurus at 28 degrees going on to just 29 degrees. So I now know that I had a solar eclipse the day before my birthday. It's going to be different for everyone. And that would have been the solar eclipse that I'll be referring to for myself. Then if we go to the bottom here, we can see lunar eclipses, and then I would click on 1960 to 1969 because I was born in 21st of May 1966. And then we would look at my lunar eclipse where that fell prenatal, and we scroll down the chart again, and we've got one that was on May 4th, 1966, and that was in prenatal lunar eclipse, and for me that was in Scorpio. So that was when my you know, when I had my prenatal eclipse. It was in 1966, May 4th, and in Scorpio, 14 degrees. So if I go to my chart, I can see where 14 degrees of Scorpio was, so it would have fell there. So it's fascinating, and there's a brilliant book I'm going to put below that you can get on these eclipses, so that you can really begin to dig deep into what prenatal and pre-solar, pre-lunar and pre-solar eclipses are. And the other thing you can also do, which is great to do, and as an, you know, learning your astrology, is that you can go to the retrograde calendar on AstroSeek as well. And this is retrograde planets for 2020. And you can scroll down to see what planets and when they're going retrograde. This is a very useful tool as well. So we've got, at the moment, we've got Mercury is going to be going, if you look at here, it's going to go retrograde on June, the next time, June the 18th, 2020, until July the 12th, 2020, and it tells you the degrees. Venus is currently retrograde, May 13th, 2020, until June the 25th, 2020. Goes back to 5 degrees. So you can begin to really dig into astrology deeply here and really begin to understand yourself and help other people as well. Then we got Mars, that's going to go retrograde September 9th to November 14th. Jupiter's currently retrograde May 14th to the September the 13th. And we got Saturn is currently retrograde May 11th till September 29th. And Uranus is going to go, or it was retrograde January, it went direct actually, retrograde, it's going to be August 15th until January the 1st, 2021. Neptune's going to go retrograde. This may be too quick for you, but you can look at this list from this website, which I'll put the link below. Then we've got Neptune's going to go retrograde on June 23rd until November 29th. And Pluto is currently retrograde. That went retrograde on April 25th until October 4th. And Chiron as well, the wounded healer. And we're all healing our wounds at the moment. We got retrograde July 11th until December 15th. So I'm going to dig deeper into these retrogrades in the next few videos to help people understand, and a bit of learning and education on that. So that's it for today. And I'll be back with another video, and probably tomorrow or the day after. Thanks for watching.